Welcome, wonderful friends, to the Sunday Rune and Card readings. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be drawing on some very special energy from three different I'm going to just say objects, but do you know, if we think about objects as being alive, everything is made of energy. You know, we are all made of star stuff, really, aren't we? We are all made of energy. We are all resonating. Everything is resonating at a certain frequency. And so the readings today are going to be guided by the way in which the power of our thoughts and our mind can be used and focused to really effectively and consciously create, I guess, the things that we wish to see in the world, you know, including our own deepest desires for ourselves. So, wonderful friends, we are going to be guided by these beautiful Buddhist beads. These were given to me a very long time ago. I was a teenager. They were given to me by somebody very special. We're going to be guided also by this piece of wood, which is actually from a wishing tree. Very beautiful piece of wood. And also by this stone with a hole in it. So the energy of these, the Buddhist beads are obviously all about prayer. Now, prayer is a focused thought. These are going to be lending energy to reading number 1. Prayer is a focused thought. It is where we effectively, especially if we engage into a state of meditation, we can begin to put into the universe, connect with source energy in many ways, and hold a vision or a thought of something that we wish to create or edge along a little bit or bring into our world, or we're asking for support with. Fundamentally, we are using the power of our mind in a very particular way. If anybody has ever read The Intention Experiment, it's a book where she lists loads and loads. I can't remember, beyond the fact that her Christian name is Lynn. She also wrote a book called The Field. It's all about understanding energy and the power of thought. An amazing book if you've never read it. But lots and lots of experiments that demonstrate the power of thought, particularly through meditation. So that is the energy that's going to be surrounding reading number 1. Reading number 2, we are using this beautiful piece of wood from a wishing tree gifted to me. Now, some of you will know, if you follow my readings, you'll know I used to live literally on a river estuary where 2 rivers met and moved out to sea. So literally I would sit in my garden and look out to sea. One way I'd look out to sea, the other way I'd look inland and see the 2 rivers joining. And the wishing tree was sitting on that estuary. Very powerful energy. I have certainly hung many prayer ties in that tree, and actually I would say pretty much everything I wished for did actually emerge at different rates and of time. You know, we can't always hurry things, but yeah, very gentle energy. There's something coming through here already for reading number 2 about the flow of energy. Again, I'm seeing those rivers coming through, and that's what I learnt as well in collaborating, let's say, knowing that the Tree Nation was there to support me, that I could reach out, connect, and everything emerged, but it emerged in its own natural time. Again, it was tidal, of course, that space of the river entering into the sea. So again, there's something about the ebb and flow of energy and of us learning to work with that in a consciously co-creative way. Lastly, we have this beautiful piece of flint, and it does have a hole in it. Now, flint is a stone that is representative. It was often of protection. I mean, it was often used as a talisman for good luck and good fortune. Now, boat builders, traditional boat builders, always would look on the beach for a stone with a hole in it, a piece of flint with a hole in it, and they would put some rope through this. And the moment a boat was built, effectively, traditionally, these would be old wooden boats. I did some courses actually around boat building and learning lots of new skills quite a few years ago. A very dear friend of mine built her own boat, and I used to go down at the weekends to help with that. And all of the boat builders that were working there would have a flint with a hole in it, literally hanging on the front of their boat from almost from day one, literally as they started to build it. It brings protection, good luck, good fortune. So yeah, very, very lovely energy coming in. There's something about the construction of things and our ability to bring to the construction of something a really good energy of protection, of abundance, of again, it's not about flow, it's very different. This has got quite a feminine energy to it. This has got a still energy. This has a sort of a feminine flow to it. And this is more to do with, I think, the divine masculine. So it's about the way that we make things happen. But again, doing so consciously with an invitation for love, support, guidance, protection, and good luck. So that is the energy that we're going to be using for reading number 3. Now, before I draw the cards, let me just make a little bit of an announcement. Some of you will already know that I've had some difficulty uploading the big videos onto YouTube rather. So I'm switching over to Vimeo for the big readings. I am literally uploading them, and I hope just the very last ones will go up today. I hope to publish those literally for that playlist to go live. These are readings that span from April through to June. So cards for April, May and June. I've also drawn cards that connect to our calling, our destiny, our purpose, where we are at this moment in time on our karmic pathway, and also cards for relationship too, as well as the overall reading, and of course runes. So if you would like to access those, do watch this space, because I will upload overviews for every sign onto YouTube, and I'll be making an announcement as well. So just sending you the information, and if you are on any of my email lists, I will let you know via email as well. I hope those are going to go live today. I also want to just talk about the fact that we have a very powerful new moon tomorrow in Aries. Guys, don't forget to make your new moon wishes. I'll be posting on Facebook tomorrow about this, on our Facebook page. It's very, very conducive, this new moon in Aries, to literally creating empowered transformation. The moon is in alignment obviously with the sun, because that's a new moon. The sun and the moon sit together. They're also sitting with Mercury, the planet of communication. I mean, Mercury is the same energy that connects to the card of the Magician, of manifestation in the tarot. Also with Venus, so very, very powerful time. The moon is also sextile Mars, so that wonderful masculine go-getting warrior energy, also sextiling the wonderful optimistic energy of Jupiter too, and in a square with Pluto, there could be real opportunity to give traction to transformation. So very, very powerful moon, marvellous moon for setting your wishes and intentions as well. There's a difference between wishes and intentions. Again, wishes are much more to do with the divine feminine. Intentions are to do with the divine masculine. The collaboration of the two is amazing. There's so much spark and energy in terms of your personal manifestations. But anyway, just wanted to tune in with that as well. So, right, actually, just to say, look, I'm going to put all the links in the information box below, so you can access everything that I've just spoken about. I'll put the links in the information box and in the comments for phone users. There'll also be a link for you to join an email list if you want to get updates from me regarding the big readings. And if you join that email list, it will allow you to also enter our YouTube subscriber monthly draw. I give away a free private reading and also a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards every month. And I haven't made the announcement for the March winners yet, because I've been flat out doing these big readings. So that announcement will come later in the week. So I think that's about it. Wonderful friends. I think I'm through talking about all these things. Let us now draw the cards and the runes. And for anyone who knows even from the thumbnail at the beginning, or even from the information about the additional guidance, anyone who knows about these, who knows which reading they want to tune in with already, or readings, the timestamps are also in the information box and the comments as well. So let's move these up here. Really, really, really beautiful energy, I've got to say, in here. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to draw from the astrology cards first. Now, I can't use that because it flicked over. Now, because this is a pick a card reading, this is very much about you guys tuning into your intuition. So seeing a card is not really ideal. Really, we want to draw our cards, see them sitting there and tune into the energy of them before we actually then embark on turning them over and looking at them. We want to kind of tune into, as I said, whichever reading or readings that you might want to see. We're going to have 2 cards here for each. Move those down. We're also going to draw from the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, wow, they are flying out. Now that one I will use because I don't think any of you would have been able to actually visually see that. It's definitely calling to us for reading number 1. 3 from this pack. We'll draw from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as well, just the 1 card. I'm also hearing Moonology cards as well. But actually, bear with me, wonderful friends, while I draw a Moonology card. Feels very much as though we are really aligning with the rhythms and cycles of the moon and of the planets, the incoming planetary energy at the moment, and perhaps tuning into the way in which that might be impacting or affecting our own state of mind and our own thinking patterns. Okay, lovely. And now we will have an Art of Manifestation Oracle card as well. And lastly, but most definitely not leastly, we're going to draw runes. Let's just move that down. I'm actually hearing just 1 rune today. Very interesting. Wow. Very, very lovely energy here. Beautiful, beautiful feel and flow. That each of the readings, I'm really experiencing them energetically as being very, very, very different from one another energetically. Just the flow of energy incoming. It's literally, I'm seeing kind of 3 different streams of energy coming through. Very different colours as well coming through. Be curious to see whether, you guys are tuning into that as well, and what you're seeing, and whether we are I'm not going to say actually what I'm seeing. I'd be very interested to see what you guys are also tuning in with and seeing in terms of energy flow and what that's feeling like, and the energy flow in terms of the colours that you may be experiencing. I mean, you guys are very intuitive. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for being with me today for these readings. I so look forward to seeing you on Vimeo as well for the bigger ones, if that is something you wish to connect in with and do. And yeah, I will be making announcements, uploading overviews and telling you much more about that literally, hopefully later today, if not tomorrow. And certainly in the week, I'll be announcing the winners as well of that draw. If you are not yet subscribed to this amazing community here on YouTube, the AZ of Emotional Health community, and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should then come directly into your stream. Wonderful friends, I will see you in the readings. Do pause, press the pause button if you need to. Take your time, tune into that energy flow. So much love to you. Welcome to reading number 1. We have my beautiful Buddhist beads here, and we are really drawing on the energy of the power of prayer, the power of focused thought through meditation. Let's think about prayer as being focused thought in a space of meditation where we are connected with the divine. Whatever your whatever your own personal belief system and spiritual orientation is. It's about your connection to that spiritual pathway and to being open to receive guidance. Now, we have the rune of joy. This is gorgeous, gorgeous energy. So this is very uplifting already. There's something in this reading that is suggesting you're coming into a space of clarity, something that hasn't been, has either been shrouded or a little bit misty, a little bit foggy around you. You're not really sure about something. You're going to find clarity. The direction becomes clear. Your state of mind becomes clear. Something is lifted. Let's look at our cards. So we have Gemini, I think, and Scorpio, I transform. Okay, I'm going to put those cards at either end, I think. This is absolutely amazing, isn't it? If you think about it, what have we just said about the power of thought within meditation? Gemini, I think, Scorpio, I transform. Just extraordinary. Okay, this is fascinating. So our first card, open the floodgates. Your dreams need a practical plan. I'm going to bring these cards down. How do I want these to be sitting? Let's sit these in the centre here. I'm wondering if we can... Yeah, I think we'll bring these in and place these here. And I'm pretty certain that's all in camera. Yes, beautiful. Okay. This is really interesting because this reading is speaking literally about our capacity to harness the energy of our thoughts. It's also letting us know that our emotions can kind of create an internal roadblock to our energy flow. So to have the Queen and King of Swords, I mean, look at them focusing here on the Eight of Wands as that central pivotal position. So if you just look at the imagery here, guys, it's actually amazing. We have Gemini, I think, Scorpio, I transform. This is a reading that is inviting you to be empowered in your life. The rune of joy, it speaks of being carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. It's like a new dawn, a new beginning, a new opportunity. It's about that clarity of direction, clarity of thought, clarity and indeed peace of mind. It's not just clarity of mind, it's peace of mind. It's like this whole package of mind, body, soul, stillness, peacefulness, and yet getting into that space of stillness and peacefulness, letting go of any emotions that are still sitting within you. There's a lot of emotional intensity flying around, and really clear message coming through here, and it's to do with the way in which we are open to the energy that's flying around us all the time. You know, if you walk into a room, I mean, you guys I know are sensitive. I listen and read your comments, and you share aspects of your journey. I mean, guys, you are awesome. You know, I have so much respect for you guys. You know, listening to your stories, to the way in which you navigate your lives. You are amazing. Very, very inspirational, I would add, for anyone new to this, to me, to my readings, or to this YouTube community. You know, just check in on the comments and you'll see what kind of people you're walking alongside. They are amazing. There's something here about the way in which we are affected by energy. If you walk into a room and somebody's sort of pissed off or not happy, you're going to pick up on that straight away. Now, we need, I think, to learn to keep our energy clean and to engage in our own, what I would call cleansing and spiritual practice as part of, I mean, the cleansing is part of our spiritual practice. You're being invited here to literally cleanse, release the emotional content. Now, there's a lot of stress, anxieties around at the moment. It's part and parcel, I think, of the impact of the pandemic over such a long period of time. All the stuff physically that's going on, huge amounts of, you know, quite intense planetary kind of incoming energy as well that we are picking up on. Now, this is suggesting that you're going to find clarity, and indeed that you can literally transform something in your life. You're going to move it forwards. Your dreams do need a practical plan. So there's something about initiating something, needing direction, needing to know what step to take next, okay? Now, this reading is suggesting that you can find that through both the cleansing and the releasing of any emotional content. So whether you're picking stuff up from the people around you, whether there's something that is just clinging from your own world, you've had a strong emotional response to something, one way or the other, there's a need to open the floodgates. This card says if we are unable to acknowledge and talk about our feelings, they stack up and build up like a pressure cooker waiting to blow, colouring our ability to see clearly. Again, this is offering, it's offering clarity from a state of mist or fog being lifted. This card calls you to acknowledge your emotions and find a way to release them. Write down your thoughts and feelings, and if needed, reach out for professional help. Really interesting. I had a wonderful conversation, actually via email, with somebody who is writing about the way in which we write. And I think, there is a need. You write stuff down. Get stuff literally off your chest. There is a need to let go of something, to release it. In my library, the A to Z of Emotional Health free online library, again, anyone new to me, if you are unaware of it, where are we? See if I can bring this up on the screen. And there it is. Here we go. www.azemotionalhealth.com. If you go to the meditation section of the library is a free membership site. It will always be free. It's there. It's full of resources to help to manage emotions, depending on what you're transitioning through. There's a meditation section where there are meditations that are designed to help to safely release emotions in a very contained and meditative way, where we never feel overwhelmed by our emotions. We release a little at a time, whilst learning to understand our emotions as a source of empowerment. Excuse me. So do access the library. There's also the psychology of emotion. There's some really interesting audios in that section of the library that help us to understand transition as well, and the kind of emotions that we experience during accelerated transition especially. So do check out the library if that's relevant and helpful to you. But get something off your chest, whether it's just to yourself or whether it's to another person. Your dreams need a practical plan. It's as if there is this little energy block around you. This reading is literally an invitation for you to transform something through your own power of conscious thought. Meditate, get into that space of stillness. When you do, it's as if there is a coming together of both the divine masculine and the divine feminine in a space of creation. Now, I also need to talk about the new moon tomorrow, because the new moon is that moment when the sun and the moon join together. It's like a sacred marriage, okay? And it's this profound spark of kind of creativity, of opportunity. It is literally a coming together. It is a sacred marriage. It's a space, and that's what we're seeing here. So I would also suggest, if you check in with this reading fairly soon, if we haven't, some people check on the readings later in the week, and at any time, of course, they're there in a playlist. You can access them at any time you wish. But if you are tuning into this before the new moon, which is on Monday, and this is a Sunday reading, so it's tomorrow, you might want to really use the energy of that new moon, that source of potential spark, that spark of creativity, to meditate into that energy and literally formulate your wishes and intentions. But it's more about formulating where you are wishing, what you wish to receive clarity on through that process of meditative prayer. Okay, everything here is in support of you, and I think it's almost as though there's a decision to be made. Some of you, I think, may already know the answer, and maybe you're lingering on trusting your decision-making process. So your dreams need a practical plan. Some of you know the direction you want to go in, but you're not sure what the next step is. Some of you, there are more than one option available for you and you don't know which to choose. Centering yourself in this space of prayer, I think you're going to get the guidance you need. That might seem strange because often it's the readings that give us that guidance. It may be one of the other readings that brings you additional clues. But there's something of a coming together here. There really is. We have, you know, the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, such clear intent, such clear focus, knowing that there's a real regalness here of knowing what you want to create. It's almost as if, as I said, something has been blocking you emotionally. There's been a block emotionally around you. I'm literally seeing that, but I'm also seeing the mist settle. You know, it's dying down. The rune of joy is magical. It's a fruit-bearing rune. Whatever the pathway you're on, you are in a space of very conscious creation, and the energy is with you to literally be shown the next step on your journey. So use that new moon energy, the sun and the moon coming together in a sacred marriage. And it's really interesting. I'm just tuning into my feathers here as well. There's something about the energy of the eagle where the eagle always rises above. It's amazing. They have an overview, so they can see everything from above, and yet they can pinpoint on, you know, as a bird of prey, if they are hunting, for example, they can see a mouse, you know, from, you know, however many hundreds of feet up they are. Their vision is extraordinary. They can pinpoint something while simultaneously rising above. It's actually the rising above that enables them to pinpoint something. That's the message that's coming through. Beautiful feathers. These are buzzard feathers, and these are from a red kite. So really, really lovely energy here today. Wonderful friends, this is a very different reading, very interesting. I'm really thrilled to see where we're going to go with reading number 2 and reading number 3. It may be, if this reading is the one that's for you and you're needing to rise above, you might want to move into some space of meditation and then tune in to one of the other readings that may in fact then bring you a clear answer as to the next step on your pathway. Because your dreams need a practical plan. There is something where you're being called into focus. That's what I'm really hearing. And yeah, fruit-bearing rune, wonderful. It really is time to move forwards with something. Something in your life is calling for you to move forwards. Something has been inhibiting you. Release any emotional residue. Sit into that space of meditation, whether it is asking for direction or literally just centering yourself so that that flow of energy is working through you. But one way or the other, I feel as though you are literally about to kind of go for it, and that feels fabulous. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. The beautiful, beautiful energy, the ebb and flow of the tides, two rivers coming together and moving out into the ocean. This is from a wishing tree. So let's place this here, I think, and look at our cards and our runes. So the first rune that we, our only rune, our rune is the rune of defense. Interesting, because this really in many ways speaks of right action. It always also for me speaks to me of boundaries. There's something about knowing, again, when to move forwards, when to ease back, allowing something to unfold as it emerges. There's definitely a tuning in to this ebb and flow of the tides, not trying to force something to happen. Patience, perseverance coming through as well. So we have Neptune. Wow, very, very powerful energy of water, given that I've been speaking about, you know, the place where this tree grew was literally alongside the water. We also then have the void of course moon missing. This feels like a reading that's speaking about an in-between space. It's something that's emerging that may not yet have fully emerged. I'm going to place our rune over here, I think, for a moment. Let's look at our cards. So we have Nine of Swords, Ten of Cups and Eight of Pentacles. Okay. This is really interesting because speaking of wishes and intentions, this came from a wishing tree. You're being asked to believe in the impossible. We have difficult emotions. There's a lot of emotional stuff coming through the readings this week. Really interesting. So Neptune is sacrifice. You are being asked to let go of something here in order to move forwards. There's something about nurture. Okay, nurturing, learning to move with the natural rhythms and cycles. Nine of Swords, Ten of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. Let's speak about these cards first. Nine of Swords is saying to me that whatever it is that you're visioning in, it's almost as though it's like a part of you, again, believe in the impossible. A part of you doesn't quite yet believe that you can have this. Okay, so you're wanting something. I think as well, this is quite a strong relationship reading. Now, for sure, it could be about your relationship to some aspect of your world, but I think predominantly this is about finding contentment, happiness, long-term fulfillment, love, but particularly within relationship. And it is as if a part of you doesn't quite yet believe that it will be possible for you. It's as though, and again, previously, I think you have actually, probably not only in this life, but in previous lives, you've probably sacrificed something of yourself. You've put your own wishes down, your own desires down, for the benefit of something else. It's quite interesting. I'm actually being shown like it's like a monastery on a hill. And I think this is past life stuff as well. And there's something about coming into this life in order to attend to this, to address that balance, to have the thing that you really desire. I feel as though spiritually, in a previous life, you really did commit to living in a world that kind of meant that you're sort of, I'd say it's like that sort of spiritual isolation that we engage in within that sort of monasterial way of life. I think that's been there for you in a past life, and you've kind of come back, and part of your pathway, your karmic pathway, I think, is to address something of that. It's like learning to bring spirituality. I mean, Neptune, wonderful Piscean energy. I feel as though this spiritual energy is you're learning to integrate the spiritual pathway into your real life. It isn't an either or, it's a both together. And you're also seeking a relationship that has that spiritual dimension, that depth of soul. You're looking for long-term happiness, fulfillment, and well-being. It's interesting, the big readings I've been doing, the April through to June, that's what I've actually called them, you know, your pathway, your karmic pathway to fulfillment. It's very much what's coming through in them, actually, so very powerful time. Astrologically, of course, you're needing to release something here or change your perspective, okay? It's like you have a wish, you have a dream, you know what you wish to manifest. I think you have that clarity. And yet, something in you doesn't quite believe it's going to be possible. Now, the void, of course, moon it's like a space in between. When the moon is void, it's sort of, as she moves from one sign into the next, sometimes there's a space in between where she's not in either sign. She's moved out of one and into the next. And in that space in between, we can sometimes feel a little bit discombobulated. I don't know how better to say it. I personally have found, and this is my own connection to working with the rhythms of the moon, it's why I created the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon diary and journal. The diary especially teaches you to really understand how the cycles of the moon affect you in a very personal way. But the void, of course, moon, you're in an in-between space. When you're in that in-between space, between the signs, I personally find that I can really tune in and channel very easily, almost more easily than whatever I say would be normal for me. I'm never sure what normal is under any circumstances, but nevertheless, I think because it's because her energy isn't being channeled through the personality of a sign, there's a freedom to it. However, the freedom to that can also leave us feeling a little bit awash and out at sea. I think in a past life, you have sacrificed something of the stuff of worldly relationship, of family, and there's something you committed to something. This lifetime, you've come back to do it differently. You are dreaming, calling in that soulmate connection. You're wanting, if you're in an existing relationship, you're wanting that depth of soul to elevate. Now, I think you know exactly what you want, but some part of you just has struggled to believe that it's going to be possible. And it does connect back, I think, to a past life where it was very much a time in history in which it really was an either or choice. It was almost as if you couldn't be fundamentally spiritually whole and connected unless you kind of led a very secular life. It's different now. This is about integrating spirituality into all aspects of your relationship. Now, let's tune in with the rune of defense here, because it speaks of boundaries to me. It also actually speaks to us of perseverance and patience. It can sometimes suggest that there is a delay in something. But if there is a delay, again, maybe you're in this in-between space, part of the delay in that, again, I think you're being asked to pause and replenish yourself. Again, there's something very important about what I would call finding your spiritual pathway in a way that is relevant to now. So it's not what I would call that self-depreciation that can sometimes be associated with spirituality. You know, the idea that if you're walking a spiritual pathway, you can't really have anything. Well, that's not okay. That's not right. The more you have, the more you can give. So there's something about writing this balance. Now, we have difficult emotions here. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Now, I'm going to make a differentiation here between emotions that are to do with the past and emotions that are to do with the present. Okay. Now, however we look at this, if we think of emotion as energy in motion, when we have a past circumstance within our lives that left us feeling raw, bruised, emotionally vulnerable, if we haven't processed that emotion and it resurfaces, it means it's like we're living through that lens, and it will affect the way that we think and therefore the way that we orientate our decision making in the present time. Indeed, it can give us some pretty negative thinking patterns. So there's a difference between emotions that are connected to a past experience. We need to listen to them in order to identify what we need to let go of, those perspectives, those underlying belief systems that no longer serve us, like any aspect of self-doubt or not believing that you can have this. It's loaded with emotion. We need to put that down, okay, because we need to believe in the impossible. Indeed, we need to believe in the possible as well. If we think of impossible, if we break that down, it's like dwelling in the possible, I think, moving beyond that. Emotions in the present time are like a navigational system. So a current emotion would be, if you're walking down the road and you see a car careers, onto the pathway, you are immediately going to feel emotion. It comes through the adrenaline, that it's actually healthy fear. You're going to get out of the way. If you didn't have that, you'd stand there and think you were invincible. So, that's a sort of perhaps a way of thinking about your current emotions as being part of your navigational system. We need to differentiate with our emotions and work out those that are connected to the past and those that are in the here and now and helping us to navigate, because that differentiation helps us to then sort of pave the way and clear the way for us to hold really strong thinking patterns, to set wishes and intentions that we can genuinely believe in. It's all very well to make a wish if deep down inside you don't believe it's ever going to happen, it's kind of like, yeah, it's putting something out into the universe, and then actually it's like you've opened the door and then even faster you close it. Wishes and intentions. Now we have a new moon tomorrow, so anyone that's watching this actually on Sunday today, tune in to get focused on your wishes. If you struggle with self-doubt, one of your wishes might be, I would like to easily release any aspect of self-doubt that is holding me back, or I wish to easily release or easily let go of any limiting beliefs that stop me from believing in the impossible, whatever you want to do, or stop me from believing that my dreams are possible. Use one of your wishes or a couple of your wishes to focus on the letting go of stuff, because it's really, really valuable to do that before you then make a wish about the thing that you really, really want. There's something about shifting your belief here, your beliefs and your perspectives. And the rune of defense, it's kind of like that perseverance. Be patient with yourself. Recognize that the stuff that you've had, you know, that's come from past experiences, it's part of your learning. You know, it's like you've been just like a child, isn't it? They pull themselves up on the furniture, they topple over a lot, but they keep going, and eventually not only can they walk, but they can run and they can jump and they can skip. If they stopped at the first time they fell over, or if a tiny child stopped and you know, literally hauled themselves up onto a bit of furniture, first time on their feet, they topple over and we went, oh, you're really stupid, you'll never be able to walk. I mean the energy of that and the language would just, it's so suppressing. And we do that to ourselves all the time. So there's something about shifting this and the energy of the emotion that comes with those thinking patterns. That's coming through really clearly here, that actually, it's like there's an emotional weight that comes with some of your thinking patterns where you're putting yourself down. That needs to be discarded. Use the new moon wishes as an opportunity to do that, whilst also then focusing on the wishes of your desires. Yeah, it's like a little, you're in a space in between. Everything here is promising fruition. It's just you are in this space in between. There's a delay in something moving forwards, and that's connected to the emotionality of your thinking patterns, I think. And as I said, for some of you, I think it does go back to a past life where somehow you literally denied yourself something because that was part of your spiritual pathway, and it was a time in history when it wasn't either or. Now it's not an either or, it's a consolidation and a having. It's having that deep spiritual connection within relationship, having your desires and knowing you have the right to manifest. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. Look forward to seeing you, I hope, in Vimeo for the big karmic pathway readings. Very, very excited to be uploading those at the moment. So yeah, don't forget to join an email list, or indeed subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to get notification as soon as everything goes live. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the wonderful energy of good luck, good fortune, protection, very masculine energy in terms of the divine masculine, the creation in the external world. Really gorgeous, very strong energy here actually. We have the rune of the warrior. This is interesting because again there's something about that go-getting energy about this. The warrior rune, the spiritual warrior rune, for me, it actually does sometimes speak of discernment, of needing to cut away the old in order to move forwards. Again, there's a real sense of strength and direction coming through here. Let's have a look at our cards. Wow, solar eclipse, revolution, earth element, stability. This feels like you are literally manifesting. Something is happening here. Right, we have Page of Cups. This is the pigs might fly. The dreams can come true. Make it happen. And yet, ooh, High Priestess and Page of Wands. You guys are in a very powerful space of making something happen. It's literally like something is consolidating, you're manifesting. Now, what I would like to say to you guys is this feels like it's giving you permission to go. It's giving you permission to build. Look at this, synchronicity, hold your vision. Yeah, this reading is saying to you guys, go for it. Revolution. There's something about discernment, letting go of the old, moving through to the new. If you are in if you're in a career that isn't really working for you and you've got an idea, go with the idea. If you're in any situation and something just is, you've got that spark, you're wanting to move something forwards. This is literally saying, you know, chuck out the old, move forwards with the new. Everything has happened. Stability, let's make it real. Let's ground it. Let's earth this. Now, if you are sitting here and you're thinking, I'm not really tuning in with that in my world. I don't quite know what my next step is. I don't know what my calling might be. I think you're being shown signs. We have the card of synchronicity, are seemingly random coincidences showing up in your life. This card asks you to listen to the signs and take them seriously. You are tuning into the universal energy of a greater collective consciousness, and these synchronicities are arriving in your world to guide you. Hold your vision. Now, there's something here about listening and allowing yourself to tune into the signs. So there's a process here. This is embodying, almost, this is giving you some steps of, it's like the building blocks, the steps to a plan in order to manifest, to bring something through. So it's kind of saying to you, listen to your dreams, listen to your heart, listen to that inner voice, something you desire. I think for a lot of you, you already know what that is. There's something you want. There's something you want to bring forwards. And it's going to actually revolutionise some aspect of your world. For some of you, it will revolutionise the whole of your world. For others, it's a part of your world, one aspect of your world. I think a lot of you know what that is that you want. You are needing to cut away the old. You're needing to let go of some stuff. For some of you, it could even be a belief system, but I think it's more than that for most of you. It's a someone or a something or a circumstance. Once you tune in and hold your vision, listen to your desires, I would actually possibly even suggest keeping something like a synchronicity notebook. Okay, because sometimes, you know, our worlds are busy, there's a lot going on around us. We can notice something and then 2 minutes later we're so involved in a task or something we have to do that we've forgotten. It's a bit like, it's like having a dream, and if you don't write that dream down the moment you wake up, you kind of lose your connection to it. And even later in the day you might think, oh wow, I had an amazing dream. Oh, I can't remember it. I can't recall it. So there's something about, yeah, making a note. Make notes of your dreams, notice the synchronicities, notice the signs, and trust in your capacity to tune into those. Open yourself to hold a very high awareness of dreams, synchronicities, signs at the moment. Make a note of them, because if you're not sure, they'll show up again. So this is helping you to develop your intuition and hold your vision, believe in your dreams, and those signs are going to show you the direction you need to take. It's almost as though, I am being shown, it's like a roadway with a pathway, a road map, and there are signposts all along it. That's what I'm being shown, and the road isn't necessarily straight. Some bits of it are straight, some bits of it are windy, and there's some turnings to take. I'm seeing lots of signposts, and it's almost as though you are being asked to particularly tune in to the unexpected, the unseen signposts, the things that we're not always fully aware of, because we're too busy, you know, trying to keep on track. You're being asked to tune in to the signposts in a very different way. Hold your vision. This really is a reading of saying, go. It's time to build something. It's time to put something into the world. Your contribution, your calling, the next phase of your manifestations of your co-creativity. Now, with your new moon wishes, tomorrow, like today is Sunday, tomorrow is the new moon in Aries. It's a go, go, go energy. So if you guys are in that space of creation, you might want to really, really focus and target your wishes on the things. It is those pigs might fly. Dream big, expect miracles. That's what I want to say. Expect a miracle, put it out there. Dream big, make an outlandish wish that says, this is what I desire, this is what I want. And then open yourself to receiving the guidance, the signs, the synchronicities that are going to open those doorways for you to make this real, for you to manifest this, for you to bring it into the world. Okay, so trust. I want you to dream big and then be open and available to the signs. Something is being turned over. There's something quite powerful and magnificent in this reading. Guys, you may want to particularly tune into those big 3-month readings that I've just currently uploading on Vimeo. I'll be putting an overview onto YouTube anyway, so subscribe, press the little bell icon if you want notification, because you'll at least get an overview, even if you don't want to tune into the bigger readings, because I've drawn cards in those readings that tune into not just the flow and what's happening over the next 3 months, but also relationship cards, also cards to do with our karmic pathway. Where are we now? What's happening? What's the karmic position of our calling? You know, just where are we in that? And they're very, very interesting readings. So even if you only tune into the overview, really worth doing that. You are needing to cut something away, let go of something. If something is calling for you or telling you, if something isn't running smoothly, trust it's time to let go of it. You are being protected, you are being given signs, symbols, synchronicities, and possibly dreams for some of you to manifest, to build something, to take on something new. And it's big. It's got power. It's like Page of Wands. This is, what do you want to create? What do you bring in? To have 2 pages, there's so much creative energy around you. There's a source of creativity that is flowing into you at the moment. It's literally like you are a vessel of manifestation. Do you know, this is really reminding me of something. I spoke at the very beginning of doing a boat building course, or doing some boat building courses, and working with some very dear friends, boat builders. I remember there was a guy, his boat, when he built it, it was really, really extraordinary. There was something about the dynamics of it that, it was a reasonably, it was a small boat, but a largish small boat, if you can kind of get that picture. If you stood at one end, I remember arriving to help over a weekend, and he said, here, look, come over here. And he said, look, just lean into the edge, the end of this boat, of my boat, which I did. He said, I want you to listen. He went to the other end of the boat and he just whispered, and something of the dynamics carried that whisper with perfect clarity, so that it kind of, the sound of it, the sound waves, that the boat was shaped like this. It was literally a kind of, this was the shape of it. And it did have a flint, beautiful flint, hanging at the front. And anyway, as he whispered, that whisper carried perfectly. Now, I could not physically have heard him. Somebody standing next to me didn't hear what he said. I heard it with perfect clarity. It was like the dynamics of the flow of that, the shape, the resonance, the energy flow within that vessel was perfect for communication and for passing even just a whisper with clarity. Now, there's something of that image that's really powerfully coming through. It was the most magical experience. There's something of that. It's like, just listen to the slightest whisper, the murmur in the breeze, something that is being shown to you. Make sure that you, as you walk, that you are aware of, listening, open and available to things that are being shown to you in ways that may not be apparent and obvious, but the messages will be loud and clear. This reading is beautiful. Do you know, that's taken me so back to that whisper. Thank you. Thank you all, guides, all those who love and guide us, and thank you all who are present with me today. Because obviously, as we tune into these readings, it brings magical experiences through. So thank you so much. Wow. Wonderful friends, yeah, I just want to send you wishes of good intent and trust that, I do trust that whatever you are manifesting, my God, the universe has your back. The timing is perfect for you. Yes, you have to let go of something, I think, but that's only part of that system yeah, it feels good. It's not like a letting go in a drastic or difficult way. It's just kind of, do you know what, that doesn't work anymore, that doesn't resonate with me. I'm moving forwards with the energy flow here. It's got that flavour. Wonderful friends. Wow. I so look forward to seeing you, even if it's only for the overview of the big readings. Do join me for those. And yeah, so much love to you. Namaste.